Is it Supermassive 2024 day today?
Oh shit. Yeah, it is. Grab and hold on to your radiance because Marshall is coming for you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Radiant Black podcast. This is the show where we just lost two of our radiants last episode. Spoilers alert. Yeah, guys. So just to let you know, it's been a devastating time for Radiant Black fans. It doesn't matter what timeline you're talking about, but we're here today to talk about Supermassive 2024. I'm your host Bash, and I'm joined by my friends and my fellow hosts Charlie and Ali. How are you guys doing today?
Man. Ready to go. Super massive. Always an exciting time. Reading it's one thing, but discussing it is always a good time too. So can't wait to get into that. And it's been crazy avoiding Deadpool spoilers too. All that craziness this week. So yeah, it's an exciting time. So yeah, let's get into Supermassive. How are you, Ali?
I'm doing great. It's a big week, like you said. Deadpool's coming out, San Diego Comic Con. Massiveverse is gonna have a lot of big announcements, so watch out for that. Today we're talking about Supermassive 2024, and I just remember the first time we ever talked about Supermassive, talked with the creators about it, and the whole time they're like, "Oh, we're not sure if we're gonna do one next year. We're not sure if this is gonna be a recurring thing." And here we are, 3 years later. Supermassive 2024, probably the biggest, most impressive one yet.
Yeah, and just so everyone knows, we do like to get into spoilers in these things, and we are releasing this one first thing on Wednesday, the release day of Supermassive, which is July 24th, 2024. So make sure you read the issues first before you dive any further. And just to add to what Ali said, they did also tell us that a certain character wasn't going to be in this one, and guess what? They lied to us.
Yes.
Character's a big part of the issue, a very important big part of the issue.
Yeah.
So yeah, without further ado, we'll get right into it. Supermassive 2024 in a second.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Supermassive 2024. Fantastic cover here by Stefano Simeone. And I got to say, that's been the talk in terms of what we've been most excited for, other than, of course, seeing the team, the entire Massiveverse team come back together and play together, seeing Dylan meet the others, Dylan, aka Rogue Sun. But yeah, this is the creative team. We got this issue. We got Matt Groom, Kyle Higgins, Ryan Parrott, Melissa Flores, Joe Clark, Stefano Simeone, and Becca Carey. Love this cover, eh? Love that Shift is at the center of it, eh?
Yeah, very. I don't think we thought much of it. We knew he was going to be in this, but yeah, a very green cover too. Matches his costume, and yeah, he definitely got a way bigger role than I was expecting for sure. Like which was nice. Yeah, we'll get into it.
I agree with you. Yeah, so other cover we've got is the cover B by the incredible Kelly McMahon. I do love this cover. I gotta say, I'm a weakling, and I ended up buying all three covers. I did not get the foil because I don't buy exclusives anymore from any store. It doesn't matter what it is, but I do get all the open order variants and the ratios and all that. And this one was gorgeous. I do hope that they make this a poster at some point because I'll buy this. But yeah, did you guys get this, or did you guys get any of them?
Oh, good. This was the only one I got. This was the only one I got for sure. Yeah, no, this one is just has a different vibe to it. It's classic.
Agreed.
Yeah, no, she's great.
Yeah, that's 100% agreed. Kelly's fantastic, and she's going to be at SDCC, I believe. And guys, we are going to be covering the SDCC news. We're probably going to go live on Saturday to catch up on the Massiveverse panel and bring you all news. So yeah, we'll see you then. It's going to be really exciting. We do it every single year, and we look forward to doing it again this year. It's going to be a good time, as always. So the final cover, and I know it's like Charlie's face is going to light up because he's going to see Igor's colors, and it always lights up like a little Christmas boy during Christmas. But yeah, here, this is the Tony Daniel cover with Igor Monti colors. I love this cover. This is a background we have on the stream right now. It was just the one that fit the best with the dimensions and everything. So yeah, I do love this cover. Fantastic. And I did pick this one up too, and I'm jealous of you guys who got the foil. But like I said, I've sworn off exclusives.
Yeah, is there only 50 of those, or yeah, it was a really small print. I thought for the foil.
No,
so,
I think
or was it 500?
it must be something closer to 500. Plus, someone told me recently, like a retailer told me, the image, like when it comes to their exclusives, they're not like particularly limited because they can print as needed, and they give the creators like several comp copies for themselves. So
Okay.
like that's why I said, like, if you really want one, get one. But if you're like kind of tight on money, just wait. They'll probably come back for sale at some point. Like if you're gonna go to SDCC, you'll have a chance. Maybe check
Yeah.
eBay, but always support the black market narrative if you can. So buy from them if you really like it. But if you're worried that they might sell out, I guarantee there'll be more in the future. So don't be too crazy.
Yeah, I hope with
And
this one they actually do I've known a couple of the cons they went to, they were selling prints, like the 11 by 17, like the big prints, and this would be a killer one for sure.
oh
So
yeah,
if they put that out, I'm totally buying that. But yeah, Igor always kills it for sure. Gotta love
yeah.
seeing him on there.
Yeah, for sure. Love this cover, and it's nice to see someone like Tony Daniel doing a cover
Yeah.
for the Massiveverse. Yeah.
This is
So
his
yeah,
first one? Yeah, I believe
I
this
think
is
so.
his
I
first.
think it is for the first
Yeah.
for the Massiveverse. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
really cool.
ladies and gentlemen, here's the creative team once more. It's written by Matt Groom, Kyle Higgins, Ryan Parrott, Melissa Flores, and Joe Clark. Art by Stefano Simeone. Lettered by Becca Carey. Cover by Stefano Simeone's. Cover A by Stefano Simeone. Cover B by Kelly McMahon. And cover C by Tony Daniel and Igor Monti. Rich folks on the production artist. Special thanks to Ryan Sidoti. And designed and edited by the man himself, Michael Basudel. And there you can see who created which characters. Obviously, if you're a fan of the Massiveverse, you probably know all this anyway. But yeah, first page, where we're picking up from, it's kind of, well, we told you guys before during our Radiant Black 29 and 29.5 review that this issue was important and that it takes place between 29 and 29.5 and 30 and 30.5, and that is the case. So you can see Pink returning right where she dropped off Shift in the last issue to ditch him. And he makes a shitty comment about how it's not really scary if you're just going to come back and pick the person up if who you abandoned. But she gives him some snidey comments back saying like, I'm only really here because I need to be. So what do you guys
She's
think?
not doing it out of the goodness of her heart. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Wendell has summoned Shift.
Yep.
Yeah, Wendell definitely. Yeah, he's getting into action in this. We've kind of not been knowing what's been going on with him, but we kind of learn more and more kind of what he's been up to, kind of pulling the strings behind everything. So yeah, he was really cool. But yeah, it was a really good way to get Shift into this. I remember we were scared that he was going to take the Pink Radiant at that one point, right? They like ended the issue with that. But no, it's cool. Like it was cool seeing Shift talk more with the Radiance and kind of get that spotlight. And man, this character gets better and better for 100%.
He's
I
definitely
agree.
the main villain now, I think, or like
Yeah.
maybe not villain, but like rival. He's the
Yeah, I
main
don't know.
kind of
Yeah,
bad guy
that's the thing. Like,
for
is he the
not
villain
just Radiant
anymore?
Black,
That's the
but not
thing.
just Radiant Black, right? The whole Massiveverse.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's fair.
He's an interesting character for sure. And after this issue, I'm curious to see how people are going to be talking about him, given the developments and his characterization. But we'll talk about that as we progress. I do want to say I love the art immediately by Stefano Simeone. I mean, even though this is like, we're just getting started, I love how flamey the portals are, how like jagged they are. It's pretty cool. So yeah, next page we see that she's taken him to Wendell, and they're here to talk about the plan. So Wendell's assembling a team. I'm putting together a team. The funny thing is, obviously, we know about the donut shop from Radiant Black 28 and 29, 29.5. That's where Wendell's been, doing his assessments, looking at all timelines, trying to figure out a way out of the situation. So yeah, they're not pumped, but it seems like Wendell's already seen how this conversation is going to go, and he already knows. And it's funny because halfway through talking, Shift realizes that, and he starts to slow down his conversation so they can get to the same point. I thought that was clever.
I think it was a nice kind of parallel or contradiction to how Marshall and Nathan were talking to him in 29, 29.5. Like they did not get that at all.
Yeah.
Shift got on pretty quick.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, another mainstay in the Massiveverse though is this donut shop, for
Yeah.
sure. We get the donuts floating around everywhere, but man, yeah, since issue 12, I've been loving this place, and I love that we keep going back there, for sure. Yeah, no, it's great. Wonder if
Maybe
it's
we
gonna
need
be
to
open
do
for
a donut
business.
stream.
Yeah, I wonder if it's gonna be open for business eventually. Maybe when he retires or retires from superheroing, he can go to the donut business.
Oh, I love that. I love that idea. Yeah. So yeah, a really fun page seeing what he'll do his powers, and we haven't seen him in a while, so it's pretty fun. As we can see, he's talking to Shift about forming some sort of team, pulling basically, and doing. Is it like a reality heist, basically? Do they want
Kind
to?
of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. So, he's talking to Red afterwards, Shift, and he's not fully convinced about the whole situation. Doesn't really feel like he's invested in it yet. But Red tells him like this is all she really cares about because you know this is where her life and the people she cares about are. So this means a lot to her, and she doesn't really give a shit about Shift right now. So he needs to put together a team, and he says that he tells her that he needs her because it's part of Wendell's insurance and keeping him alive and making sure this goes well, but also having someone he trusts on the inside. So he's recruited her, and then in the next page we see the next recruit, which of course is in San Francisco right there, iconic
this
with the
was
bridge in the
gorgeous.
background.
Yeah, this was
So
gorgeous.
beautiful,
Stefano's,
yeah,
yeah, hint on these colors, man. Just yeah, making
amazing,
California look absolutely amazing. Honestly, the best. Yeah,
gorgeous.
French drew it so amazingly, but just yeah, seeing it with this twist was very cool.
Hmm.
And yeah, just cool seeing BB back too. Like especially we get Melissa back, obviously. But it's just nice, like having this. Like it must be such a crap storm communicating with everyone trying to get this whole thing together with this many writers, right? But it's so worth it in the end. Just having all the characters' voices be like authentic to themselves, I guess, and
Yeah,
I think that's a pretty rare thing in a team up book, which is great. Just great.
yeah.
This was a couple months, I think, delayed, but yeah, like all that stuff makes it 100% worth it.
I love
And I
how
love
like BB's reaction was like all like, I'm not so sure. I got people here that I worry about, and then he's like, oh, but it's like about an Inferno Girl Red, and he's like, you know her? She's like, I knew an Inferno Girl Red, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
BB,
that was cool.
BB. I guarantee we understand the nature of this relationship between
Oh
BB and
no.
Inferno Girl Red.
And if
I think it's suffice to say it was flaming hot. Okay,
and, and if you don't know what he's talking about, go read Supermassive 2023.
or just read Dead Lucky. Yeah.
Yeah,
Either
yeah,
way, you'll
that's true.
understand then. BB
And
hits on anything that moves. So
I think this is the first time she's referred to Lopez as her girlfriend, I guess. So we know that
Oh yeah.
relationship has also developed a little bit. So
mm,
that's kind of cool. But yeah, this montage is just so cool. Now Schiff, yeah, obviously he's off to New Orleans next, which is
yes.
so cool. The debut of Dylan in Supermassive didn't
Finally.
disappoint. Didn't disappoint at all. These conversations are
Yeah.
long awaited and yeah, so fun, so fun.
I love the line he says. He's like, besides, this is Dylan saying this to Shift. He's like, besides, I'm sure you need someone on your team who doesn't look like a goth, took a sudden super unfortunate liking to athleisure wear. And I'm just like, this is Ryan Parrott,
Yes,
Yep.
like
yeah.
that kind of stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, Kyle's an amazing writer, but like he wouldn't be able
Yeah.
to put this kind of voice. Like every character like feels like they were from their own books, which is one of the
Yeah.
best things about this.
100%. I love that it's like you could tell it's Ryan. I love how
It's
juvenile it
so
is. It's
good.
almost like throwing shade at the ship design. Love it.
I love how it
Um,
didn't take any convincing either. It was just like, oh,
I
fight,
love the
throw a
close
super
up.
heroes
Yeah.
to it.
It's like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. It's just very like, okay, settle down, Dylan. Settle down. I love how Pink is always like, if you look at the background in these panels, Pink's always like on top of
Always
something.
climbing shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. He was on the clothesline or yeah, on the electrical poles. Yeah, no, that's true.
I love it.
It's a good
But
show.
yeah, so we're setting to put together a team, and then the next page they're there. They're going to the other timeline. So they're going to Chicago, Illinois, the other timeline, the evil timeline, and they're on a ship. Well, not a ship, on a plane, like a little plane. And
Yeah,
it's funny because
I thought that was interesting, like how
yeah,
old fashioned it was. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, like how unique technology they have, and it like advanced technology, and then they just go with like an old school like 2-person plane. It's like with like a tiny propeller at the front. It's hilarious. It's so good, and yeah,
Hey,
red
this is
hanging
all
off the
the
wing
post
is
office can afford right now.
amazing. That
yeah.
is true. Maybe their budget, yeah, maybe they got to make some cuts somewhere.
Yeah.
So
I can't imagine like flying like aerodynamically speaking. I can't imagine it was a smooth flight with like Radiant Red in like gigantic robot arm mode just hanging off your tail, just like
that's true. Yeah,
dragging you
that's true.
down. And it's like Dylan just tailing her, and she's like, "This is the
Like
I love
always
this
turning
panel in
to the
particular."
right. Like damn.
Yeah. I do love how like it's subtle, but Becca's lettering in this issue is phenomenal. And then I'll show. I don't. I can't. I feel like some of it looked like it might have been Stefano, but this part you can tell is Becca. And I love how she puts the brr, on the side of the panel. It adds like a really cool effect, and then places it here along. It really adds the motion of the picture. I thought that was really cool. It reminds me of like the Indiana Jones scene when he's like fighting the people on the Zeppelin thing, on the flying thing. Just like, oh, shit gets
That's
chaotic.
good.
Reminds me of a
Yeah.
few different movies actually. Yeah. Even the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark when they're taking off from the water, like you can just imagine, like even though it's just a takeoff scene, you can just imagine it being like this hectic if it was fighting in midair. But they're not even fighting; they're just trying to land, right? And we see some banter between Dylan and Satomi because he's just saying like, I could carry you, and she's like, I'd literally rather die than be carried by a child. So
Yeah. It's our first
it's
child
okay.
joke. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
our
he
first
says,
child
"Fall to
joke.
your
Yeah.
death," then. So yeah,
Yeah. He gets
savage.
shamed for his age a lot in this
Yeah,
issue.
I mean, he
Big
is
time.
significantly younger than anybody,
Which is
except
fair.
maybe
Like
Eva. Maybe
yeah,
it's
Eva's the only
fair.
one that's like kind of
yeah,
close, but
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, BB gives them a motivating speech, and she's clearly leading the way, which I really liked a lot. BB should be leading
Yeah.
this team. She has the most experience. She's like the most,
Yeah.
leadership qualities. So it's nice to see her taking the lead. And yeah, they finally make this jump outside of the
Cool
plane right
shot.
into the robots. Love this shot. Like, guys, Stefano Simeone is just eating his own cake in this issue. He has his cake and he eats it too. Like that's how good his art is. He's just killer. So many, in my opinion, just all-timer pages and shots in this issue, especially if we're talking action set pieces and action moments in the Massiveverse. Like, look how kinetic this page is. Look how amazing
So
everybody
good.
looks. I love it. This is
I
the
re-
kind of
I
energy you want.
I really
Eh,
love how he draws everyone, but in particular, for some reason the way he draws BB, I
Yeah,
love it the whole time. Like the way he draws her, like even her face and that
it's very
stuff is like
Spidey. Like her body
yeah,
movement.
he
yeah.
does a very good job, very good job. But yeah, with everyone, like Matt said this a few times, like definitely the most kinetic like art in the Massiveverse that we've seen.
And
For
even
sure.
you didn't show
I
it, but the
totally agree.
page before this when they're jumping in and BB's
Yeah.
like half transformed, that one's pretty epic too. Yeah, you can
Yeah,
I
have
don't
your
want to
pick.
show you guys all the pages. Buy the book,
Right,
guys.
right,
Support the creators.
right,
But
right.
yeah, it is another amazing page. Yes.
Oh man.
But yeah, just killing some robots in these next two pages. Just lots of amazing action, gorgeous pieces from Stefano Simeone. And one piece in particular that I love is kind of we see the moment from earlier, happen because as they're fighting, Satomi takes a moment to pause and say teleporting is cheating to shift. Then she gets hit by some some robot that was falling down, and she gets knocked off the platform. What happens then? First of all, love this right here. Again, the motions, just seeing her fall, the look on her eyes, a huge arm, appropriately sized arm, contextually speaking. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But in the next page, she's rescued by Dylan, and he says, "Saved by a child." God, how embarrassing for you, right? And she's like, "Focus on the robot." Clearly embarrassed by that. So I did love that. And you could see BB down there just shocking them bots like there's no tomorrow. So yeah, what did you guys think about that? They kind of played out that moment pretty quickly there. So I like
Yep.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't
Yeah.
have to
No,
wait too long for it.
It's those quick moments that make this so enjoyable, and yeah, Dylan, like just those small moments. Like if they meet next time, we're gonna remember that, like this moment here, for sure. It's yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cool, and yeah, we see like arms are flying everywhere. Like there's just destruction everywhere. Like it's so cool following his art. It is very cinematic. Like yeah,
Yeah.
it's very very kinetic for sure.
Yeah, lots of fun. And we did skip a lot of action pages because we don't want to spoil everything, guys. We want people to pick up the issue. But yeah, let me tell you some fantastic, gorgeous shots here. And then the next page, we see that basically they're trying to clear a way into the ship. And Dylan makes a comment about how these robots are easy compared to vampires or werewolves. And I love this moment because it's like it really shows you not only how like different each corner of the massive verse is, but how well they do like contain it to their own corners. But here she says, "Are you serious? That's a real thing." So yeah, BB's had experience with a lot of things, and even though she's seen her fair share of really weird and strange things, she still is like, "Whoa, there's vampires and werewolves." So I thought that was really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. She's
I
been
mean,
a
I
part of
guess
the
that means
military. She's been all over the world herself. So, yeah, no, that's
that
kind of
means
yeah,
Roxanne is kind of doing a good job. If she doesn't know,
yeah,
New Orleans is not that far away
True,
from LA, so if she doesn't know, he's doing a good job.
true. He's
yeah.
holding
And we
down the
know these
line.
things are all over the world now with the perfection and stuff like that.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
these different groups. So,
yeah.
yeah, no, that is cool.
Yeah. So next up, they're trying to, Radiant Red says there's one thing good that you could do with this power is that you can smash and break into something, no problem. And we get the epic, huge Hulkbuster arm there, just breaking into the ship. Love that page. I love again the expression right here. Very, very Looney Tunesy.
Yeah,
I love it. I've just heard me like you should never underestimate the importance of the breaking. I'm just pointing into the hole in the ship. So we finally found an entrance, or should I say, made an entrance into the ship, and they're looking for what's being guarded and everything. And I love this
I
moment
love
here. He
that
says,
part. Yeah.
"Yeah, listen, kid," and he's like, "Look, you have no idea how old I am. Come on." "Okay, Rogue Son, I appreciate the gumption, really, but it's important operationally for you to understand if this timeline's Radiant Black shows up, we need to disappear." And then he's just telling him he's very dangerous. We can't mess with him. He has more than one radiant. So I was gonna say the reason I highlight this moment, not only it's fun and the art's great, but this really good job of basically highlighting what happened in Radiant Black 29, 29.5, just real quick in a few lines. So and it's well integrated into the story. It's done very
yep,
organically, so it's not just like a big exposition dump. So I really like that. And yeah, they're giving you an idea of the threat that lies ahead. But that's when they finally find what's being guarded, and it's very interesting because it's Inferno Girl Red, right? It's Inferno
I
Girl
did
Red.
not see this coming at
No,
all.
I did not see it coming either. Love the artwork again by Stefano Simeone. And I love this moment here from Dylan where he just like, okay, I got this, jumps in between the panel. Again, the artwork is
so cool.
gorgeous. Yeah, flames the thing. This is like Star Wars lightsaber style. You just like carve a hole in the ground and just boom, like the robots went flying outside the ship. And the funny thing is that even like everyone's like, wow, like you handled that very well. And he's like, even BB's like, okay, I apologize, we'll handle it. He's like, could you say that a little louder so my dad can hear? I said, it's too bad they didn't add like an extra panel of BB going like, what? You know what I mean? But yeah, that was really cool. And then he gets grabbed by one of the robots that was barely hanging on at the edge of the hole. But that's where BB gives him the save, and he's temporarily hurt because his knees took a beating during that. In the meantime, they break into the other part of the ship secured, and they find the one and only Cassia Costa. Guys, what a joy it was to see Inferno Girl Red. I feel
Yeah.
like because I they were like, oh, this is not going to be Inferno Girl Red or whatever, and I don't think she was on. Was she on the cover? I don't remember.
She was. Yeah.
No.
She was on the cover. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's on
Cover
the
A.
cover A. Yeah, so I
Oh,
wasn't
really?
sure if they were trolling us.
She was
Yeah,
on all the covers, A, B, and C.
she's on all the covers. I wasn't sure if they were trolling us just to put a nice cover with all of them since it's super massive because like Shift's on some covers and he's not on others.
Right.
But then just to see her in the story, man, I was so happy. I was excited to see. Like my first thought was like, oh my god, it's Inferno Girl Red. Like how is she going to interact with all these other characters? And of course, she hits the immediate Inferno Ignite, and her and Roxanne are off to an interesting and rocky start. I do appreciate though, and I want to say this is really interesting growth. If you've been reading Rogue Sun, then you can appreciate this more. But like normally, I feel like Dylan would just react by like trying to fight back immediately.
Back,
But
yeah.
yeah,
Punch
and
back
this
right away.
right away without even thinking, it would be like
Yeah.
anger, right? But in
Yeah.
this case, he's not angry. He's actually like almost like listening to reason, and he's thinking like, "Oh no, like I don't want to fight you." Like I do love this comment where he says, "Yeah, I don't want to fight you, but I did recently learn there's a Rogue Sun versus Inferno Girls Red scoreboard that I will correct if you force me to." I can't help but feel like that's a reference to something someone said in the Discord. Either way, I love it, and I think that's so funny. And speaking of the Discord, it's the Radiant Black podcast Discord or the Massiveverse Discord, where all these people who love the Massiveverse, the little community that come together and chat. And we have some creators from the Massiveverse like Kyle Higgins, Marcel Costa, other people who come in from time to time and talk. Michael Basuto, editor and designer. He's often there correcting things and sharing cool things and just being awesome. So if you guys want to join, we always have a link in our description. It's a really nice little community. But yeah, I love also this transition. Like basically, you see each hero's face here, close up in the face for the most part. Mine is BB, but I do love how it like goes to a panelist shift, and he's like TikTok people. I do enjoy him being like kind of. I love that they kind of chose him for this team. I'm not gonna lie, like he adds a lot.
Yes, it makes sense.
They're
like yeah, like
BB's.
Right? Yeah. Yes, that's true. And BB's in command, but yeah, this guy's kind of he's also he's kind of the rough edge that kind of they threw in there that maybe might do a little more than the others might be willing to do. Who knows? But yeah, for some reason, Kieran or Wendell actually for that matter really seem to trust Shift a lot, which is interesting.
He probably saw the timelines play out, and he was like, "I know what I can, what I can do specifically." Right? Yeah, but I do want to say, I thought another thing to add to what you're saying, he's really good at improvisation. Like if you need someone who's an improv in this situation, like to like figure shit out on the spot, I think Shift's your guy, because even right after the situation where they get swarmed by robots in the ship, they ask him like, "What's the play? What's the move?" And he's just like, "Okay, we're jumping out the hole. We're just trying to jump out." And so they jump out in the sky. I thought this was epic. And another just gorgeous page, guys. Look at this, like incredible. Like truly, I love these pages in Supermassive, and them just fighting them as they're jumping out. Him doing the teleporting. I thought it was particularly funny because earlier Satomi was saying teleporting is cheating. Now he's probably has the highest kill count if they're keeping track of that.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, but yeah, they do find ways to slow themselves down. BB says she can slow herself. Rogue Sun is flying after Shift, and then he just says, "Oh right," and Shift teleports right. And then Inferno Girl Red is obviously fine. So yeah, they manage to have a good landing. And I do want to say a quick shout out on this page, and it was sneaky. I didn't catch it on the first read.
I didn't catch it either.
I was so excited. Nobody caught it, so nobody on the podcast caught it on the first read. I was the first one to point it out on the second read. So if you haven't read Midlife by Brian Buccellato and Stefano Simeone, I highly recommend it. It's a fantastic comic book. It's kind of like a superhero of a different kind, if we can even call it that. But you guys know we've been talking about it for a while. I've been posting about it on the Instagram and all that stuff, all the socials and even in the Discord. But yeah, it's basically some Massiveverse creators who've done, like Ryan's working on No One, and Stefano's done Supermassive covers and Radiant Black 18 and all that other stuff. They did their own book together. 6 issues are out, and not only are the 6 issues out, but your boy right here got a pull quote on the issue or on the trade, on the back of the trade, volume 1. So you'll see the Radiant Black podcast name on that trade. That's pretty cool. Anyway, why am I saying all this whole huge tangent? Get to the point, goddammit. The point is right here, you can see the mask. That's the mask of Ruben from Midlife. That's his firefighter mask. So I thought that was a really cool, nice.
It says Ruben right there too.
Yeah, and the sign says Ruben there.
Yeah,
right there. It says Ruben right there.
Yeah.
I wonder what that is.
I'm kind of hating myself because I didn't catch it. It's like it's pretty obvious if you just look at it for a second.
It's the colors, like they don't pop it out in your face, like it kind of the colors blend in, but once you see it, it's pretty obvious, and it's cool. Yeah, it makes you wonder: is that our Ruben we know, or is this the copied timeline Ruben? I guess it doesn't really matter, but it's just kind of cool to think about.
Yeah, it's fun, because they like you said, they both worked on Massiveverse. They work together, so it's nice that they're kind of giving a nod.
It's cool having them in there.
I love it. Yeah.
Reading Midlife 2, like I don't know if this really says like, okay, Midlife takes place in the Massiveverse. This might confirm that. I'm not sure, or if it's just a fun Easter egg,
No, I
but
think it's a
I
fun
think it's
Easter
just a
egg.
fun Easter egg.
it's
Yeah.
just a fun Easter egg. Okay. Well, it really like it's a small enough scale of a story where I could see it. Like I could see it happening. Like it wouldn't surprise me
Yeah.
at any point. But yeah, it's yeah, it's awesome having him in here. And Stefano drawing it too. It just makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Radiant readers, you guys tell us if you caught that on your read through. And be honest, let us know if you managed to catch that. And if you read Midlife, I thought it was delightful because Mitch's Hot Chicken or whatever it's called, the restaurant, I forget. That was an Easter egg in Midlife, and that was tying into another book, Chicken Devil, which is really cool by
Yeah.
Brian. So I love that. But yeah, so we see here that they land in the other timeline, Chicago, and they see that it's just death everywhere, destruction, ashes, and they're kind of scared. You know what I mean? Some of them are scared. You can even see like Inferno Girl Red is caught off guard. She's like, what happened here? She's like, I was promised an explanation, and then she says, okay, I'm not going any further. And then they're just like, like whatever. Dylan's just like, whatever. I just want to rest. So they end up having to do the explanation in the next, well, soon. But what happens in the next page is very exciting. We go on to another place. Boom! The man, the myth, the legend himself from Radiant Black 29 and 29.5. This is the bad timeline, evil timeline. Marshall, who's gotten multiple radiants, and this is a huge moment, possibly the biggest, one of the biggest, most significant moments of this issue. And he says just one left, having just killed all the radiant wielders. And is that Premiere? Right,
yeah, I was gonna say, I believe.
Yes, no, 100%. Yeah.
That
so
is Premiere.
He killed Premiere and took his radiant too.
Yes. So right now he has black, yellow. He has black, pink, red, and
black, pink, red, and green. Yeah.
Or green. Sure.
I wonder if that's something we're gonna see.
So
he thinks the only one that's missing is yellow. But there's actually two more, yellow left, and another one.
Two radiants, and he says you're lying, and he says there is always truth in existence.
Is that existence through the portal? What? That's existence, right?
Yeah, I think that's
what I think, at least.
Yeah. Dude, this was insane. Like this moment right here is insane. Like this is like an insane moment. Like this is like I hope they touch on this in the next issues of Radiant Black, because it'd be kind of weird.
I hope we see Premiere. Yeah, I hope we see Premiere die in that issue.
Because I wonder what happened to Nathan then.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Because don't they show up at the end of the issue, right? Like they show up.
But then they leave, and then in the other issue they show Nathan they leave, and then they meet the good version of Premiere. So yeah, we'll see kind of where that picks up. But yeah, this means a lot. But man, the colors on him here are so cool. This kind of like blue, color, man. Like, yeah,
it's insane.
Could be my favorite look.
I love how he's glitching out every time like we see him in this issue. Like I love how he's never one like clean figure. Like it's always messy and like glitchy. You know what I mean? Like I love that. Like it reminds me a lot of like WandaVision, like when she was like reality was glitching like that. Yeah, it's like I love that he's always glitching. Like I love that's how that's part of
Spider-Man.
I thought that was so
Spider-Verse.
Cool. Yeah.
That too.
So yeah, this is a gorgeous page.
Depending on how or if even they handle or touch on this in the next issue of Radiant Black, so 30 and 30.5, I would say this is pretty kind of essential to the Catalyst War narrative, right? So if you're keeping up with Catalyst War, you definitely should be reading this.
100%.
Yeah.
So on the next page, we get an explanation kind of what's happening. I thought this was a cool page because it's saying, so we borrowed a plane, fast incursion, rapid succession. We're here. Okay, so now Inferno Girl Red's caught up. And then this is where she says what happened to her. So I'll explain. The last time I was on this world, it was because I was on my way to do something important. This time I was on my way back, my way home. Really? And then they were like, okay, because that was a while ago. And then she's like, this time, someone asked her, this time move different between speeds between universes. She says, couldn't say, sorry. Anyway, as I was traveling back, I noticed something. Your universe was split or duplicated. I wasn't sure. I had to check it out, make sure you were all okay. Turns out things weren't okay. I was ambushed. And when I was under, I swear I heard someone or something say they needed to know me. They needed to keep me as a contingency. That's really interesting. So maybe, do you guys think the other Radiant kidnapped her and then kept her as a backup to fight Marshall, or what maybe like
Which
another
Radiant?
like the
The
supposed
Premier?
other Radiant. No, the
Oh,
supposed other
the
Radiant.
unknown one, the sixth
Yeah,
unknown one. Yeah.
yeah, the sixth unknown one.
I'm very unsure. This doesn't mean a lot for Inferno Girl Red, like showing how important she is to even
Yeah,
Radiant Black's universe, right? Like how powerful
yeah.
she is.
So maybe it was
But
Premiere. Yeah, maybe
Maybe
it
it
was
was.
yeah,
Premiere.
That's what I'm
it
Yeah,
could have been
thinking.
Premiere. It could have been
yeah,
Premiere, but we do know this. Her amulet is the only thing that can travel between
yeah.
universes, right? So
And
that
Radiant Black wants it really bad to go into the
yeah,
good
it could be
timeline.
kind of a
Yeah,
spice thing, like Spice from Dune. They just need the spice to be able to travel and kind of increase their empire. But yeah, no, it was really cool seeing Wendell. This is actually exactly kind of what I was thinking when he first kind of tweaked out and split the worlds, and then we started getting the two issues. It very much felt like Wendell kind of just felt like he didn't have a good enough chance, so he's like, okay, we're gonna take this chance. We're at least gonna double our chances here, maybe. My question is that when is Nathan's or is Marshall becoming the evil person? Was that always the duplicate world, or was it just like whoever prospered, he was going to take that world and destroy the other world? So
Mhm.
I hope we get those answers. But it also too is Marshall took all the radiance from that world. He doesn't have one radiant from the original Earth. Then he only has radiance from the duplicated Earth. So I don't know if that means anything, but that means there's two of each radiance now in the
Mm.
universe. So
Yes.
yeah, a lot. Yeah, this means a lot for sure. But yeah, it was
Yeah,
cool, and it means Inferno Girl Red is directly in our universe too, right? She flew by and she flew to her like her planet, I guess, or I guess she can go through universes, but
yeah,
we kind of see here she's closer than we kind of initially were led to believe, I think.
yeah, for sure. So she has access to this universe with a lot more ease. And we do, the next thing they do is they want to go find Marshall. So they say break time's over, kiddos, and this is really interesting. They're like, "Oh, this is uncharacteristically vulnerable of you." And then Shift actually says something smart again with the improv, and he's like, "We should put on our civilian clothes because it'll be harder for us to be recognized. We'll stay off Radiant Bad's radar," which I thought was funny.
Pretty bad.
Uh, yeah. So they do that, and they're just kind of driving around. They find some vehicles, but then they find Marshall. So Inferno Girl Red is talking to him, and she's kind of in shock because they have history obviously from the first Supermassive. So she says, "Wait, Marshall, it's you, isn't it?" And he says, "Hey, Cass, I missed you. What happened to you? What are you doing?" And he's telling her how he messed everything's up, but he could do the right thing if he gets the radiant. And he's obviously in denial because even BB tells him something, and he's like, "Oh, it's easy for you to say because you're from the good timeline." So it's very like he's clearly like not
So
processing
so
anything well.
sorry to interrupt here, but I think reading this page again now, this makes me think that Marshall was the one who captured Cassie. It wasn't Premier, it wasn't the mystery radiant. It was Marshall because that's kind of his take it out or his
Oh, yeah,
redemption.
that crystal you have,
Oh,
powers,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think I can get to the other
exactly.
timelines. Do it right this time. So he wanted to do right this time. More the parallax thing. He wants to make
Yeah,
everything right by going
yeah.
crazy and destroying everything. But
hmm.
man, yeah, that's a good show. That's a good show.
Yeah. So we get one of the best lines, in my opinion, in the Massiveverse, where she says, "Here, Tommy says, I can feel the red radiant. It's a part of you. You killed me, didn't you?" And he says, "I didn't want to, really, but I'll do it again if you try to stop me from fixing all this." And she says, "You're not getting her crystal. You might have killed a radiant red, but don't forget, I've killed a radiant black." He's like, "Damn," and he's just
That's a
like,
hard
I was
yeah,
low.
as fuck
Yeah.
line.
yeah,
Good thing
lines that
Nathan
go
wasn't there.
hard. I love how he
Yeah.
zoomed in on the
That's
eyes, and her eyes are all
Yeah.
red, like the radiant. Oh, and he's like, "Sigh, fine, let's go." So there, now it's gonna be round two, but with all the supermassive like battle royale characters fight.
yeah.
And so
We get
we
our
get,
classic, yeah, our
yeah,
classic suit up page
dude,
here.
this page,
Ah,
woo,
Man, all three of them we've got have been so amazing, and just seeing Bash's shirt. He's got the
Oh yeah.
what's it called, the team up shirt
Mhm.
going on there, the Radiant Black team up shirt. Man, we need a Massiveverse like team up shirt. We need like that whole squad on there doing a suit up or something. With all those guys. Such a cool page. Such a cool page. You only have one. I think they tried a little too hard at first. I think like having Dylan like shout something like Rogue Sun, like they all would like have their own saying, but this time it's just kind of Inferno Ignite and everyone's just transforming. Super badass, super
I
badass. And
know
yeah.
I know why by Satomi it says transform, but I couldn't tell what it says by shift. So if anyone
Yeah,
knows,
that's true.
please
I'm assuming it
let us
says
know.
shift.
Yeah, I'm
I
assuming.
would put
Yeah,
my
that makes
money
sense.
on that. I would say
Yeah,
Makes
shift.
sense.
yeah.
But yeah, so
So
yeah,
you
I
get
guess
this
so. Dead
classic
Lucky is the only
page.
really one that doesn't say anything much. But yeah, man,
Yeah.
so cool. They're ready to go at it. But this issue really also shows we saw in 29.5 how
Well, look
powerful
at this
Marshall
page
was.
though.
But
Look
yeah,
at this page though.
this shows kind of the scale of, man, like
He just
I don't
fucking
think like
punches her across
Castia and
the
that
game.
they're not trying to hold back that much. Like they're like, man, like, but they
I
still
mean, look
can't
at
do a
him. He's
thing. Like
got he's
this
got
is
cape mode
insane.
on. He's got like some
The radiant
aura
red
on his left
arms.
hand.
Yeah.
He's got the radiant red arm. He's going crazy right now. Full
Yep.
power.
He's destroying them. The action scenes in these pages are gorgeous, just nonstop action. Some of the best action we've seen in the Massiveverse. Super kinetic, colors are gorgeous. And again, Stefano did everything. Did the colors, he did the inks, just gorgeous stuff. In the next page, you see this really cool moment where Shift is like teleporting, and then you see Radiant Black just crack open like reality and crawl out and try to go like, what the heck? This
Yeah.
guy is not even playing. He's not even.
Little
He doesn't
pink
want to have
portal.
fun. He doesn't like. He just wants to kill them immediately. Yeah, he just opens
I
the
hope we get a
portal.
scene. I hope we get a scene of could be like or Marshall and BB like fighting through the portals. I don't think we've gotten enough necessarily from, or no, sorry, not BB. Eva. Like I don't think necessarily we've gotten quite enough like spotlight of Eva all the time,
Mhm.
and I think she deserves a moment like that. So maybe one day she'll get a cool moment. But yeah, if they fight through the portals or do something super badass, I think that could be really cool. But man, yeah, the colors of this, the fat radiant across his chest, man, yeah,
Yeah.
Stefano
I don't know. I
killed
don't know
this
if I
design.
included the next page because I didn't want to show every page. But next page, brutal punch from. Oh yeah, I did not. Brutal punch from both Rogue Sun and Dead Lucky. Just huge, huge
Yeah,
punches.
dead lucky, which is cool. We see she gets to she can take over the catalyst spots
Yeah.
and take them
Yeah.
under control and use them to fight. So that could be very useful. That could be very
Oh yeah.
useful.
And
We'll
those
see what
next
that's
two
gonna be
action
too.
pages we skipped, they're amazing. So if you're reading this issue, you know what we're
Hmm.
talking about. Gorgeous pieces by Stefano Simeone, just gorgeous. Everything is amazing this issue art wise. So yeah, we finally get to the end of the fight where they just well not the end of the fight. Well, we take a pause in the fight and they finally have a moment to talk to Marshall and they say, please, Inferno Girl Red tells him, please, Marshall, just let us go. We don't have to do this. And then that scene where he's like, his helmet's coming off, but you could see his eyes are like super glowy and
Yeah,
just
that was a good
glitchy.
touch.
So cool.
That was a
Oh
good
my
touch.
God.
That it
Yeah.
just it kind of seems like he's gone at this point. Like he's
Yeah.
Marshall,
Yeah.
but like the eyes, it doesn't really look like Marshall.
Yeah. And, she says, we can't do that. And, he's like, I thought I made friends that day. And he was talking about Supermassive the first time they all met. He says he was wrong. And then he says, yeah, I saw a vision too, and I warned him he'd need to rely on himself. This Marcus telling Dylan. And then he's telling him, like my dad's crazy and he abandoned me and I still didn't go like blowing up the world. So you can't do it this way, Marshall. But that's when Marshall just isn't having it anymore. And they fight again. Marshall tells them they're so self-righteous and just continues the fight. But that's when you get them all coming together like on this page and just attacking him. And they manage to subdue him temporarily. Um, yeah, just go again, gorgeous stuff. Oh, sorry, gorgeous stuff. Shift is going in for the kill because he tells them that they might not have the stomach to do what needs to be done, but that's why he's on this trip. and then Marshall kills Shift donut style. Crazy page. That
Nasty.
I was like, yeah, when I saw this, I was like, I can't believe they did this. And I don't mean like
Brutal.
I don't mean like I didn't enjoy it. I thought this was amazing, but I was like, I can't believe they just killed Shift because like
Yes.
I thought about it, and I'm not gonna say what happens, but I was like, because of the whole like B, timeline B and all that, I was like, I guarantee they're gonna get the other Shift, like 100%, because like he's too good of a character to kill. Like, there's no way they can like commit to this like being the last time we see
Yeah.
Shift. I just don't think it's possible. Like, there's no way. So that was my initial thought. I was still shocked, and Shift is gone. They're just, I don't know why everyone just kind of like is too much in shock to fight at this point, but they kind of say, even Marshall's like he was going to, it was an accident. And now they kind of really see Marshall for what he is, but then you see this haunting.
That's so sad, man.
Panels, yeah, of him just crying, and he says, "I really thought we'd be heroes," and then he flies off. So that's the end of Marshall for now in terms of this fight. And that's where you get Dylan asking, like, he's not going to hurt anyone else now, right? And then Inferno Girl Red says, I don't think so. And Satomi says, doesn't matter right anyway, right? Everyone on this world is dead soon. And then Inferno Girl is like, what? And she says, then this timeline's erased, everyone's going to be erased. And that's when they're saying, okay, like Dylan's been having this whole thing, this issues like only like, if we choose which people to save, that makes us gods and not people. And now he says, but we're heroes, and only if we save as many people as we can. So they decide to go do a portal thing and bring as many people across the portal to the other side as they can. Meanwhile, Satomi says she has something she wants to do. Oops, skipped ahead. That's where we see her break into the building where the post office was keeping Shift in the other timeline, and she figures that he's here in the same timeline as well. She breaks Shift out, basically telling him that he has a choice. Maybe he wants to get a second chance at a different timeline. And he says, maybe, I'll take maybe. And so he comes with her. And that's when we get this final page where they all get across the portal to the other timeline. And I like this moment from Kieran where he says, hello there, I'm Kieran, the Postal Inspection Service. I guess like that's there. And he says, Wendell reached out. My people are going to help our new multiversal immigrants find safety. Thanks for that, by the way. You've introduced a whole lot of paperwork we haven't even invented the paperwork for yet. I thought that was really funny. And then, Inferno Girl Red thanks them for rescuing her, but then they tell her there's still a war. So they turn to Kieran, and he says, well, your timing is perfect, almost like someone here planned for it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, donut, donut. Almost like, yes. And then radiantblack is in a major situation in Chicago. I've been authorized to send in everyone I can. And then Dylan turns down, he's like, hero time. Whoop. And then you get this amazing final page, which apparently I haven't put up, with all of them flying down towards Chicago, which makes me think that they're going to show up in the last two issues of the Catalyst War, right?
Yes. I feel like they have to now, because the four of them barely were able to fight Marshall, right? And I'm thinking now Marshall is going to get that sixth mystery radiant. So he's going to come back even stronger. So that final fight, they're going to need all hands on deck.
Yeah, that's, man. Yeah, I don't know where it's going to lead to. I really thought the multiversal immigrants was kind of a funny thing. I don't know how many people they brought, but hopefully it doesn't get too complicated. Like I just had those thoughts, like what happens if they come, they want to move back home, and someone's already living there with their wife, or like it could get pretty complicated. But post office is looking out for them. Seems like there's lots of doppelgangers in this world now, so that could get kind of interesting too. So yeah, lots of extra people here. I don't think it's a crazy number or anything. But I think at this point, this world's used to some crazy shit, so they'll get over it. But yeah, this team up page was super cool, and yeah, I think.
Did you say super cool?
Okay, come on, you got to admit that's actually super cool.
And here we see Shift, a part of this hero time team up jump off. So, which leads to my question: is Shift just going to be good for as long as Catalyst War is a thing, or do you guys think he's gonna turn?
Dude, remember when I made a joke that like, what if he stole the radiant like last second, like, and he just like shifted away?
Man, that'd be so.
Look,
I don't think he'll do that.
I think at his core, he's self-serving. He's self-serving
yeah.
above everything else.
Yeah.
So he's gonna do what he thinks is best for him. And at this point, if he wants the world, like the world to survive, he needs to help them. But after that, I think he's back to his old shift shenanigans.
Yeah. I felt like some energy between Satomi and Shift. I feel like she kind of is into him. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm
yeah.
wrong.
She
Yeah.
has a soft spot for him
There's
for
definitely some
sure.
chemistry there.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, you're right about that. But yeah, man, this was really cool. Do you guys think Shift's gonna get the 5 Yindicate back in this thing to
I
be
think
useful
this
at
is
all,
above
or
their
are
pay
they just
grade.
useless? Are they
Yeah,
just
this
useless?
is way
Yeah,
above their pay
pay
grade.
grade.
Yeah.
Above their pay grade.
I think he has a new and
Mech is not
improved
gonna
team.
be the best of use.
The,
That's
the,
Uh,
the question is Wendell going to do something? Like, is he going to make an appearance in the war, or do you guys think he's just going to keep on pulling the strings?
Man, he's super interesting to me because he's the only character I don't believe that hasn't been duplicated. I believe. Like I think he duplicated everything else, but I don't think there's another Wendell out there yet. Or maybe there
I
could be a
think he is
second.
there, but I think they share maybe not share consciousness, but they
Oh,
are
okay.
communicating
Yeah,
with each other.
yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
there was like
Loki are
yellow
aware of
I
energy.
each
see what
other.
you're saying.
Like when we're looking back at the pages, like there's yellow energy around the Earth. So, like, right, this is yellow here. So that's curious. Like maybe I'm just reading into it too much. But oh wait, I'm
Oh
not.
yeah.
I just realized
No,
I'm
I
not
think
showing
that's
the
very
screen.
deliberate, dude. I think
Yeah,
that's a very
No,
deliberate decision.
yeah,
yeah,
right
yeah.
here, right here, right here. You see that? Those are yellow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder if that's like deliberate. Yeah, maybe he is the one who duplicated and did the whole thing.
No, oh, 100%. No, 100%. He's the one who duplicated it. But I'm just saying, like, we've seen 2 Evas, we've seen 2 Satomis, but we haven't seen 2 Wendells yet, which is kind of curious to me. But yeah, no, I think definitely, I think he's got a bunch more up his sleeve that we haven't even begun to understand yet. But yeah, I can't wait for this, and I
2 more
really can't wait,
issues.
and yeah, we've talked about this before, like where this book is headed after this. I'm really curious about that. Where we're going from here. We still got some big issues left. But yeah, we're almost 30 issues in, or it's like 36 issues at this point. So yeah, it's been on a good run. But yeah, I hope we get kind of an arc that can last us a little longer. Selfishly.
I agree. So yeah, guys, that was our review of Supermassive 2024. I was telling the guys earlier, right before we started recording, that I think personally that this is the best Supermassive yet.
Agreed.
Between the art, the writing, the action, everything that happened,
Yeah,
the
I
surprises.
agree.
The only
I
thing
agree.
is we didn't get a new character, but I'm okay with that because we got different versions of
It did the
existing characters.
most. It was
Yeah.
definitely the most, like, and Ali said this before, like the most necessary for
Yeah.
sure. Like out of the other ones, you didn't really like, you could have not read them at all and you wouldn't really have blinked an eye. There was a little like kind of thing in there, but for this, I think they will explain it. Like if that team hops into 30 and 35, they'll have a quick line in there. But yeah, I think this is a big thing. You get a little more of the donut shop. You get the best stuff of the Massiveverse that we all like as Massiveverse fans. So this is always an awesome just yearly event, and I hope it stays that way. I really
Yep.
do.
I hope so too. And it was such a joy to see Inferno Girl Red. I was really genuinely surprised, and I had so much fun with it. So thank you, Massiveverse team. It was nice seeing Joe Clark help with the team on this issue. So I thought that was awesome. He's
Yeah.
been involved throughout the whole Catalyst War. To see him make those connections and come to join all the other Massiveverse creators was a welcome addition, considering how much he's done for the Massiveverse. If you haven't read his book with Kyle Higgins called Deep Cuts, I highly recommend checking that out. It is fantastic, and it's been nominated for an Eisner Award. And so that's it for our Supermassive review. But hang on with us just for a second here as we tell you about our upcoming giveaway. All right, guys. So this is what we're giving away. We're giving away the Radiant Black Massive Edition hardcover book 1, which collects Radiant Black number 1 to 12. It is a $45 US retail books, and it says here collects issues number 1 to 12 of the ongoing Radiant Black series, including a newly remastered issue 11, as well as a complete cover gallery and more than 30 pages of brand new exclusive back matter. Excuse me. So one thing we will mention is people have been asking why issue 11 was recolored. They mentioned that Kyle wasn't super satisfied with how the coloring turned out initially, and they just wanted to correct it and just bring it up to the standard that they wanted, I guess, or something like that. That's what I've heard. So they've recolored issue 11. They said that there wasn't really anything wrong with the coloring before. I just don't think they had enough time to finish it or something like that. So they've recolored that. Looking forward to seeing that edition. This is going to be a big, beautiful hardcover. It's not going to. It's going. They said that it's going to determine whether they do more in this edition. So if you guys want to see more hardcovers for Radiant Black and the Massiveverse, make sure you pick this up, pre-order. Especially make sure you put your pre-orders in. That's how they see and determine, whether they do these things again in the future. But yeah, so how we're going to give these away? We're going to wait till we hit our 500 subscribers, and then we're going to give one away. Just put out an open giveaway for pretty much anyone. So make sure you like and subscribe, and you'll be entered for our giveaway in the future. So yeah. Last but not least is if you want to support this show without, there's multiple ways to support the show. First of all, we do have a Radiant Black Podcast Patreon, and we have some new patrons that we're going to talk about. So our latest patrons, and we'll pull them up here, sorry. No, that's not the one. There we go. Our latest patrons are we have Noah M, Patrick, Joe J, Jordan C, and newly joined are Eric H and Cameron L. Thank you so much for your support. You guys help keep the lights on and enable us to do it. Yeah. Thank you so much, and improve everything about the show. We're actually making more improvements than usual, adding more technical stuff, and we're working on the newsletter as we speak. Everyone's already submitted their written excerpts. Honestly, every single person on the podcast group stepped up the writing this time a lot more. I don't know if they just enjoyed it more or really liked it the first time and were like, I want to do it better the second time. But everyone has somewhat like a lot more interesting things to say, and maybe it's because we're a more interesting part of the book now. But I was really enjoying reading them when I was putting together the some of the parts for the newsletter, like editing it. So very excited for that. It's coming very soon, hoping before the end of July. And we've got some art from community people in the community, people like Zion.
Gorgeous art from
Legion
the community.
Fire.
Man.
So excited to show it off.
Can't wait for you guys to see it. Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, yeah. So thank you so much to our patrons, and to everyone else. If you want to support the show, just like and subscribe. And if you want to do something that really helps the show, is leave a review on whatever podcast aggregator you use. It goes a long way for the show. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Anything you guys want to add? I think this week, not only is it Supermassive, so we got Supermassive, but it's also the end of No One, and we're putting together a big video for that in the future. So keep on the lookout. We're going to do a review of the whole series, and we're going to do some fun stuff with that, because we've been, we haven't really covered it at all. Yeah. Midlife coming up.
Soon. Yeah.
And then on Saturday,
that's fantastic. I can't wait to talk about that. And this San Diego Comic-Con, biggest announcement yet. They say that every year, but they said biggest announcement yet, with some big horn emoji, some big red horn emoji. So who knows what that will be. These guys have surprised us so many times, but man, I'm always keeping my fingers crossed about some sort of anime.
Honestly, it could be anything. It could be anything.
Some sort of anime.
Guessing so forever. It could be anything.
Could literally be anything.
This is weird.
But that's it. So I personally just can't wait to tune into that. And just eagerly waiting for 30 and 30.5. That's
September, I think. It's September 18th.
Yeah. So there's a lot to look forward to. We're going to do our stream covering everything that comes out of the San Diego Comic-Con Massiveverse panel the day after. I believe it's on the 26th, so we'll do our stream on the 27th, which is Saturday. Looking very much forward to that. We do it annually every single year with SDCC, with the news, like the guys said. And I think that covers pretty much everything. So there's a lot to look forward to in the future of the Massiveverse, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you follow, like, and subscribe, and tune in for the future. Stay radiant.